Today is Wednesday. It's early Wednesday afternoon, just after 2 p.m. I've got 6 orders going out for a total of 109.03. I ended up with 2 orders yesterday and the other 4 came today. I got to tell you, I have been listing my butt off here lately just to try to get as many listings as I can up. Although listing more is not really increasing my sales too much right now. So let me show you what's sold. The first item going out is a replacement filter for a Winix Plasma Wave. I guess that's, I don't know, an air purifier or something. But this sold for $11.70 plus shipping. This came from the bin store and it was either, I think this was $1. Next, I sold a 3-pack of Live Clean Baby Calming Bedtime Lotion. These sold for $14.95 plus shipping, and these all came from the bin store for, I think these were all 50 cents each. So I've got $1.50 into these. Next, I sold a low profile tamper for a Vitamix blender, and this sold for $7.79 plus shipping. This came from the bin store, and I seriously doubt I have more than 50 cents into it because I've sold quite a few of these before and they don't sell for all that much. I mean, this one sold for $7.79, and the buyer is only going to put so much money into these with shipping because they're all in at around $14 or $15, and if they're going to put in much more than that, they can just buy a Vitamix branded one. I've got a 5-pack of solid plastic tumblers with 7 matching lids going out. I picked these up at an estate sale in a $5 fill a bag, and I've often said before, when I'm filling up the bag, once I pretty much put in the items that I know might have, enough value to make them worthwhile to pick up, I'll just start filling the bag with other things that maybe I can check out later and see if they have any value. Now, obviously, these are not going to be super valuable, but I did get $9 plus shipping for these, which by the time I make a little bit on the shipping, basically just selling these out of that bag has made me double what I initially paid for the bag. I'm definitely a big fan of $5 fill a bag. Next, I sold a Meals in a Jar Quick and Easy book. Now, I almost didn't buy this book because comps on it were not good. The fact that I only had to pay 50 cents for it and it was brand new was the only reasons that I bought it. But I knew going in that I was not probably going to get much money for it. So I had it listed for 13 something with free shipping. And as much as I hate free shipping, all the other comps had free shipping. So someone sent me an offer earlier of $10.59, which seemed like an odd number to send an offer on, but I did accept that offer. I do have to pay shipping out of that, so not very much profit in this book, but I am going to make a few dollars. The last item that I sold is a Happy Birthday Singing Cake Plate Stand. Now, I just picked this up Sunday at an estate sale, and it had a price tag of $15 on it. It was Sunday, so normally I would be paying half that, but for some reason, this was underneath the carport in the $5 fill-a-bag area. So I comped it, and real quick, I just found one sold comp for like $69 with free shipping. And so that was a no-brainer. But this would not fit into the bag that I had, so I asked the guy out there how much he would charge me for it, and he just said $3. So I definitely couldn't pass that up. So I bought it Sunday and I listed it Monday because this was an item that I wanted to get up there listed as soon as possible. The only other one that I saw, and look, I didn't dig too deep into it, but I did see a brand new one listed for like $125. So I listed it a little bit high, which is something that I do with, items that just aren't saturated on eBay. And I'll let it sit for 2 or 3 weeks. If there's no real interest in it, I'll go ahead and lower the price. But I really had someone send me a message within an hour of me listing this. I was on my way to work that night and they sent me a message and said they would offer $50. I countered with $55, which puts it in line with the sold comp that I had saw. They accepted, they paid. I even included a video on this in my listing, which on stuff like this, I definitely want to show a video. It's really, really cool. Now, all in all, it's not like it's built all that well. It's really very plasticky, but apparently they don't make these anymore and there is some demand for them. It is Thursday. I've got 4 orders going out for a total of $48.21. The first item going out is a pair of winter thermal wool insoles. These sold for $11. I had these listed for $16 and some change. The buyer sent me an offer of $10. I countered with 12. They countered with 11, and I took that offer. I really wanted to get at least $12 for these because I believe that I have $2 into them that came from the bin store. But at least $11 is better than no dollars. The next item is a book, The Black Girl's Guide to Financial Freedom. This sold for $9.33 plus shipping, and it came from the bin store for $1. The next item is a cookbook, The Country Market Cookbook, Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Ponchatoula is a town that's situated kind of in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and they are known as the strawberry capital of the world. And they've got like an annual strawberry festival and stuff like that. But anyway, this seems to be like a pretty decent cookbook. I've seen sold comps on this between $20 and $30. But this sold for $20.09 plus shipping. So this sold for $20.09 plus shipping. And what was going to be the last item is a football player cake pan from Wilton. This sold for $7.79 plus shipping. And I bought a whole big tote of cake pans at a garage sale about 2 years ago. And I thought they would do a little better than what they've done, but I pretty much had to sell these things between $7 and $8 each. There were some vintage ones from the 70s. Some of them were, actually most of them were brand new. A lot of them still had the paper insert in them. And in addition to that, they're a pain in the butt to ship. Because, you know, I know some of you who have used these know, but these edges are, this metal's not very thick. And these edges are very easily bent. This one's actually not so bad because it's not as big. I did have a viewer, Retro Stephanie, who let me know the other day that Star Wars ones were good. And it's likely that I've been passing by some Star Wars cake plates just because I've had such bad luck trying to move these. So I want to tell her thank you for letting me know that I should be looking at those and picking those up. I went and pulled the last item that just sold, and it's an Uglies electrical book. And it sold for $7.15 plus shipping. So that brings my total up to $55.36 for the day. This book is brand new, sealed in the package. If you go to Amazon and buy these, they're $24. On eBay, I priced it competitively with what everyone else is selling them for. Because I've long said that eBay is a race to the bottom, and I believe it. I don't care what other people say. When this book is selling for, not just on my listing, but the other listings, basically 1/3 of the price of anywhere else, that is a race to the bottom. And look, I've did a lot of looking into Amazon selling, and I know that Amazon puts intense pressure on their sellers for the lowest price. I saw a very interesting video not long ago about a guy who sells some kind of kid's toy for around $18. And when everything is said and done, he makes like $3 profit per item. The reason he said that he still sells on Amazon is just the volume. But he did say that Amazon is beating him down already to lower his price on that item. But I don't want to get too far off track. eBay is, in a lot of ways, a race to the bottom. I think you can negate that by selling items that you really just can't get anywhere else. Like this little Uglies book. These are available on Amazon, eBay, wherever. And they're not hard to get. They're plentiful. A lot of electrical companies and contractors use those. If you're selling vintage G.I. Joe, yes, that's going to be harder to get. And eBay is going to be a little bit better marketplace to sell those kind of things. Well, not just eBay, any marketplace probably. Because you can't just run out to Walmart or Target and buy those items. I did get one more additional order while I was packing up those those 5 orders. And it is for a digital to analog converter box. This sold for $15.80 plus shipping, and I picked it up recently from an estate sale for either $2 or $3. I don't remember which one. It is not new in the box. It looks like it's very lightly used, and all the ports are here, the remote, the cables, the RCA cords and everything, but it is pre-owned. I got a message from the buyer asking if I shipped to Alaska, and I said yes, but didn't eBay change something with that with the Alaska thing, making it international or something. I heard something about that, but I haven't, well, I say I haven't shipped. I think I shipped to Alaska recently, so I don't know. But I will show you, I got the only item I got packed in that amount of time was the cake pan. And I'll show you how I packed it. Not that anybody necessarily cares, but maybe, you know, for future reference, if you're packing something like this, maybe this will help. I used a number 7 box, and I rescored it to make it basically be 4 inches thick. And I haven't showed this in a long time, but I use one of these scoring tools, the Handy Score, and I bought this from eBay. There's a seller that, I think they're actually the manufacturer of these. I really like the wheel on these. Now you have to be careful because these points are kind of sharp, and if you're not careful, you're going to over perforate your box. But I really like this little tool better than the ones that have the box cutter on one end and the scorer on the other. But as a whole, it turned out pretty nice. I did reinforce the inside with cardboard on the front and back. Well, actually, I took a piece of cardboard, I sat it down on my counter here, I put the bubble wrapped cake pan on top of it, another piece of cardboard, taped those together, and then I slid them inside of the box, and then I taped it up. The shipping is going to be a little bit more. I'm actually going to lose a few cents on the shipping because I'm using priority mail. I'm sure that I have a regular box I could have went found to fit this in, but it was just quicker and easier for me to go right over here and grab one of the priority mail boxes. And I don't know if I say Frankenbox, because I don't think it's so much, maybe partially Frankenbox, but really making a whole nother size out of that box. I still kept it under 2 pounds, which is what the weight was that I had listed. The dimensions got a little bigger by me doing this, but if I was still going to ship it Ground Advantage like I'd advertised, it wouldn't cost me any more. But look, in the end, I'm still making a little bit of money because I paid such a small amount for these cake pans. I'm just not making quite as much as I wanted. Today is Friday. I've only got 2 orders going out for a total of $75.95. The first item is a T238 Airsoft Spitfire Tracer. And I picked this up from the bin store for $2. I had no idea what it was. I had to look it up. It actually looks like a silencer or a suppressor that you put on the end of a gun. There's a little bit better picture of what it looks like out of the box. It was not new, but it did work fine. I function tested it. Not that I had an airsoft gun to put it on, but the way it works is when the airsoft BBs go through the barrel and out through this on the tip of the gun, it like sees that there's something coming out the barrel and it just flashes and lights up. So anyway, I tested it and it worked fine. I had it listed for $29.95 and I sent an offer out for $26 and it sold almost immediately. And the last item is an Enrolled Agent Practice Exam Guidebook, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And this sold for $49.45 plus shipping. It also came from the bin store for either $1 or $2. Probably the last 3 days, I believe, I've been doing a mix of listing both bin store items, like death pile bin store items, because I haven't been to the bin store in a while, and some of the newer stuff that I brought in from estate sales. I don't have a preference on what I list, although I was listing some sewing items last night that I picked up at an estate sale. There were some vintage like parts for sewing machines and stuff, and like I was getting a little bit frustrated trying to figure out what a lot of these parts were. One of the items was just a box with some parts in it, and you know, I don't sew, so I don't have, well, let me take that back. I do sew very basically. Like if I get a rip in my shorts or my shirt, matter of fact, this shirt that I have on, there's actually a rip in it that I snagged on a nail. But I don't use a sewing machine. I use an old-fashioned needle and thread, and that's the extent of my sewing knowledge. So trying to figure out what these parts were, even with Google Lens and stuff, you know, it's very time consuming. So I listed this item as Vintage Singer Sewing Box of Machine Parts lot of attachments and accessories. And I did see some other listings that kind of had the same description of what they were selling, because it sounds like they were like me and did not know what these things were. No more than a few minutes after I listed that item, I saw that there were viewers of it. And I got a really nice message from someone. She saw that I was kind of struggling to identify what these things were. So she sent me a message, just not interested in buying it, just to let me know that these were for Diana 560 sewing machine, and then a few other things. So I really appreciated that. I have not had a chance to update that listing yet, but I am going to do that at some point, either today or this weekend. Today is Monday. It's about 12 noon, and I've only got 3 orders going out for a total of $51.35. Absolutely horrible sales over the weekend. As a matter of fact, technically I only had 1 sale during the weekend. One of these items was bought Friday afternoon. I had the 1 sale over the weekend, and the 3rd item was actually purchased early this morning. So it's actually the 2nd absolutely horrible sales weekend in a row. The first item going out is a vintage green glass ashtray. There's a picture of it since I have it all wrapped up. And it sold for $9.24 plus shipping. It came from an estate sale, and I either paid $1 or $2 for it. I actually might have paid less than that, because I can't remember exactly what estate sale that it came from, but I know on one of the estate sales that I think it may have came from, I bundled up a bunch of stuff. So it may have came from that one, and if that's the case, I probably have no more than $1 into it. But either way, it sold for $9.24 plus shipping, and at this point, I'll take any type of profit that I can. Next, I sold a lot of 6 testosterone boosters. These sold for $17.85 plus shipping. I actually found those at Dollar Tree. I don't go into Dollar Tree and just start scanning all kinds of items to see if I can make any money on them. What I will do is, if I see something new that's not a typical Dollar Tree item. Most of the Dollar Tree items will say somewhere on the package, distributed by Greenbrier International. These don't say that. So I did scan these, and I saw there was a sold comp for $25. I think that was with free shipping, and these are super, super light. So I bought 6 packs just to see how they would sell. I've had them for a couple months, so I really have about $8 into those, and I sold them for $17.85. I will make a little bit of money on the shipping, but selling them for $17.85 plus $6 shipping is pretty close to what the comp that I saw was. Now, I probably will not buy those again, but it is a few dollars profit. And the last item going out is a Lottie Sirius, the Welsh Mountain Pony horse. That was an item that I picked up from the bin store for $2. It's actually been sitting in my death pile for quite a while. I have been pulling out of my death pile, as I mentioned recently, so I listed it, and it sold in less than a week. But there's a little bit better picture of what it looks like. I do have another return coming in. It is for a vent cover. I've sold 3 of these vent covers over the last few months, and 2 of them have had returns. The real issue is that the actual cover is a different size than the insert. And in all the listings, I put in capital letters in the title, read description. And I give the dimensions of the face of the vents, and then also give dimensions of the smaller part that inserts into the wall or wherever you're going to put it. And apparently nobody can read. Well, one person, they actually could read, but the other 2 buyers apparently did not read the description or the dimensions. So I do have that return that I'm waiting on. I think I also mentioned that I had a claim with USPS, the first one that I've ever done. It's been now over 2 weeks, and they still have not given a final decision. I know last Thursday, the buyer had contacted me that USPS wanted him to bring the item in to inspect it, which I found a little surprising, being that this is a $14 claim. But he was more than happy to do it, and I do appreciate that. And he left it was a waffle maker, so he left the waffle maker with them. I checked less than an hour ago, and the claim status still says under review. So I don't know why they're dragging their feet so much. I don't know, maybe that's normal, but like I said, I've never had to deal with making a claim before. I went to 2 estate sales this weekend. I went by myself again. I mentioned that last weekend my friend Kim was on vacation with her family, so I didn't have any competition for those estate sales. Well, as it turns out, when she came back from vacation, she brought home more than souvenirs. She had COVID. So she did not go with me again this weekend, but as it turns out, I only went to 2 of the 4 estate sales that they had, and they weren't all that great. There were some things that I bought I probably should not have picked up, or at least maybe tried to comp a little better. It's not a whole lot of stuff, so I'll show you what I picked up. So these items here are from the last estate sale that I went to last weekend. I just have not tested those, so they're still sitting there. The first item I picked up was its bumper and some cords for either Nabi or Nabi tablet. These tablets are not very expensive, and this one has the power cord and this cord in it and the rubber bumper, which does not look like it's ever been used. I don't think I will be able to get very much for this, simply because the whole tablets themselves a lot of times don't sell but for about $20. But they had this marked as 5, and it was 50% off, so I only paid $2.50 for that. Next is this little interactive thing. I don't know how much I technically paid for it because it wasn't marked. I ended up just paying $15 for the whole lot of stuff. Now this thing is missing its antennas. I don't know if that's going to be a deal breaker for this or not. The only thing I know about it is it's some kind of...
What's cracking? What do you want to do now?
Is it some kind of interactive thing?
Ouchie, Mama! Great to see ya! What do you want to do now?
Comps for this are mostly in the $20 range, but like I said, they do have their antennas. This one doesn't. I don't know if that affects it or not, so we'll just have to see. Someone may want this if I offered at a little bit cheaper price than what the other ones listed for sale are. I bought a hair dryer. This is not for resale. I would pay $2.50 for it. I do have a hair dryer for taking off labels and stuff in my listing lounge, but I wanted one for my eBay room, so I picked that up for myself. Probably the only real good buy at this estate sale was this Braun Citromatic juicer. It works fine, it needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but these can go for easily $30-something. I've seen some up to $40-something, and it was marked 5, so I only had to pay $2.50 for it. Now I kind of bought this blindly. It's a Michael Kors, I guess it's like a dress for skinny people. It says it's a size 4. And see, the clothes were, I think they were 5. That may be after the discount. Like I said, I paid $15 for everything, and a lot of times the lady at this estate sale will just cut me a deal. I did try to check this real quick and see if I could find this one. I didn't see anything, but either way, I only have $5 into it, and I don't think I'm gonna have any problem getting my money back out of it. And the last thing I bought from that estate sale was this zipper case. I don't know, maybe I can call this a bosom zipper case. I don't know. And it has a little pocket on the inside. It's nothing special. There's no brand on it. I did try to comp it. I did not see one like it, but come on, I had to pick this up. From the next estate sale, first item was this Oster Stimulax massager. It was marked 5, so I only paid $2.50 for it. I actually have one of these in my death pile that I haven't gotten listed yet, but the comps show about $25 on these, so I got that. Next is this Village Sounds cassette tape and 2 specially designed speakers to include in your village. This is a Department 56 item, and it's got the 2 speaker rocks and the cassette tape and the cord. This was only $1. It wasn't marked, and I don't know, comps on this I've seen between like $5 all the way up to, there's some listed ones right now for $25. I'm sure I'm not going to get anywhere close to that, but in the end I've only got $1 into it. I picked up 4 cookbooks. These are nothing special. These are just, I think, going to be run-of-the-mill cookbooks, and a lot of them are from Texas. So I'll probably get, you know, $10, $12, $14 a piece for those, but they were only $2.50 each. I found this Daisy juicer. It did have a price of $12 marked there, but on the tag it said $10, so she charged me only $5 since it was 50% off. Comps on the Daisy juicers are about $20. Daisy's not around anymore, but they were a brand, and I actually think they were a subsidiary of a bigger brand, maybe in the 70s and 80s. The last item I bought were these glasses. They have like a leather wrap on the bottom, and comps on these, I saw comps. I saw one sold for, well, they were asking $125 and they took an offer on it. I saw some that sold for about $75. I even saw one that was listed and sold for, I think, $17 plus shipping. So all these were marked 6, so I've got $12 into the set, and I may be able to get $60 or $70 for these. So from that estate sale, these were definitely the best buy. So nothing too great from either one of these estate sales. It was definitely a hard picking day. I think that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and especially consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.